American Inc. presents Wake Up with Patti Katter. Now, here's your host, Patti Katter.
Hey, everybody. So today I have James Lawrence on the show. James, it's a pleasure to have you. And I am going to let you go ahead and tell your story. I was reading your bio and it's incredible. Basically, you've won many awards for fitness and you're originally from Canada. You moved to the US. So a lot of us listening are going to want to know that story. But James, go ahead and jump right in. Introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks so much, Patty. Oh man, where do we even start? Yeah, I grew up in Canada, Calgary, Alberta. Just loved Calgary. Grew up going to the Calgary Stampede. And the reason this is relevant is because it's the reason I came to the US. Calgary Stampede is one of the largest rodeo stops in the world. And I got to go every single year. And this one year, in my early 20s, I was listening to a radio show and they announced a contest. They wanted to see who could ride the giant Ferris wheel for the entire 10-day duration of the Stampede. And I grew up a wrestler. I thought I was mentally tough. And so I jumped on the ride and I rode the Ferris wheel for 10 days. I got fired from my job. I won some money and literally got off the ride, hitchhiked a ride to Utah, where I had one friend and ended up meeting my wife, Sunny Joe. We just celebrated 21 years of marriage and I've been here since 1999. Absolutely love it. It's one of the best kept secrets in the United States.
Oh my goodness. So tell me about when you were a kid, because it sounds like you were a little bit rambunctious and it sounds like you were a little bit of a daredevil. So how did you grow up?
Yeah. 3 sisters, no brothers. None of my family enjoys sports. But I loved it. And it became my family, my community. I played on every team I could, eventually gravitated to wrestling. And then just loved athletics, loved pushing myself, loved competition. And yeah, so just a lot of fun competing. And that became my family, my brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if somebody asked me if I would go on a Ferris wheel for 10 days straight, I mean, did you win a lot of money or not really?
10 grand.
Okay.
So it was an okay amount of money. Yeah. $1,000 a day to just sit there and do nothing and just have conversations with yourself. And really it was fine. I was shocked people were getting off because of boredom and they just weren't comfortable sitting there and having a conversation with themselves. And I was, and so I won.
Yeah. Cause you think about it, 1999, is that what you said?
Yeah.
So it's probably not like you had a smartphone up there. And if you did, it was the old BlackBerry or something.
Oh no, you couldn't have anything on there, like no books, no nothing. Their goal was complete boredom. Can you manage you and the thoughts you have in your head?
Wow. Now that's a different story, because I thought, okay, if you sit in there for 10 days on your computer, on your phone, reading books.
Zero.
Wow.
You yourself and your thoughts. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why a lot of people struggle, is because they're not comfortable with who they are. They haven't reconciled maybe their past. They're troubled with the conversation they have with themselves. And so I think there's something to be said about creating some alone time with yourself and being okay with who you are. And a lot of us are running away from who we are. And that's why we're constantly, our attention is grabbed in all these different spaces. And so I learned early on that I'm okay with who I am. I love myself. And I'm cool just sitting there. Like if somebody said, "Hey James, I need you to drive across the country right now," I'd be like, "Sweet, sure." And you got to do it by yourself. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't care, but I would actually probably enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds fun to me, because I could stop and get out and look around places, explore. Yeah. But if I'm stuck on a Ferris wheel, I mean, now I have a question. It's an odd one. Okay. But
how did I go to the bathroom?
No, I kind of probably can figure that one out.
No, you can't. You can wear, one of the rules was you couldn't wear like an adult diaper. But the real answer is we had 2 10-minute breaks a day to eat and go to the bathroom.
Okay. I mean, could you eat while you were in the Ferris wheel too? No. Wow. So that is quite different. When you were on the Ferris wheel, did you talk out loud to yourself or sing or anything?
No, I just sat there and enjoyed it.
Huh. Okay. Well, wow. I don't think I could. I could do it, right? Anybody could do it, but I don't think I'd want to do that. Not even definitely for $1,000 a day.
When you were 20?
Maybe when I was 20.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it today. It's not worth $1,000 a day.
Right,
But
exactly.
when I was 20 and had $0, it became worth it.
Good point. Good point. So fast forward to, I've read that you're into fitness and you went to how many Ironman?
So we've broken multiple Guinness World Records. So just our history. In 2010, we broke the Guinness World Record for the most half Ironmans done in a single year. And then 2 years later, we broke the world record for the most full Ironman, full distance triathlons in a year. And just to clarify, an Iron distance triathlon is a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, full marathon run, 26.2 miles. So it's a total of 140.6 miles. And so we broke the Guinness World Record for the most official events around the world, 30 events through 11 countries. They said it couldn't be done. And then from that gave us confidence and experience to tackle the consecutive world record. And so our little family, I've got 5 kids, and we loaded up a motorhome and we did 50 consecutive Iron distance triathlons 50 consecutive days, and then one in each US state. And so a state a day, all 50 consecutive days, doing a full Ironman a day. And then just last year, I wanted to really push myself. Our team wanted to find out what was really possible, physical, mental, logistically. And we tackled what we call the Conquer 100 project. And so it was a quarter of a year, 100 consecutive days of 140 miles. So 14,000 plus consecutive miles, no days off. And we set a new Guinness World Record for doing 101 consecutive Iron distance triathlons.
Wow. What do your kids think of all this?
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I'm a speaker, and so I get to speak around the world, and it's a common question, like, how did this impact the kids? And I always say that kids are a product of our environment. And what's normal to one child is very abnormal to another. And this is just normal for my kids. We grew up as a family doing these adventures, and we've been doing it for over a decade. And you got to think, when we did the first world record, it was in 2010. And so my oldest would have been 8 years old. And we've got 5 kids, so ages 2 to 8 is when we kind of started this. And now my oldest is 19 and works for me full time and absolutely loves it. And it's developed into a brand and just something that they see, and it's normal to them. I'm not the Iron Cowboy to them. I'm just dad. It's just, again, the kids are a product of their environments, and what's normal to one isn't normal to another. And it's just who we are as a family and what we do.
I bet that they would be bored if they went into other people's houses sometimes. I mean, so many kids are sitting on their computer, sitting on their, playing on their phone all the time. And your kids are pretty much traveling all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, how many kids have had an opportunity to go to all 50 states in a year? They've got to travel with me in a lot of my speaking engagements. I've spoken in 48 countries around the world. And so we have a thing in our family. When one of our kids turns 16, they get to pick an international trip where dad is speaking, and they get to go do a one-on-one trip with me, and we get to see the area and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What about your wife? Does she ever feel like you're going too much? I mean, has that been a conflict for you guys?
No, not at all. She races too. She's done multiple Ironmans, half Ironmans, marathons, all of it. She loves fitness. I think we're both kind of over doing the big challenges now, but she's been the most insane, incredible support system and captain, really. She runs a lot of these campaigns and is the forefront, because we've been on a similar journey, but have very different roles in the journey. And these are family goals. Obviously, they're my personal goals and challenges that I want to do, but there's the whole business side of it too. We're entrepreneurs, and we do coaching and events, and she's getting into speaking as well and mentoring. She loves youth, working with the youth and the kids and women. She's just a powerful woman. And it's just a lot of fun. She'd actually be a great guest for the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds interesting. We should have partnered you both up on here.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how you heard about Team 1 Mile, because a couple of weeks ago I had Mike Campbell on the show, and he was talking about Team 1 Mile, and I'm going to be going on that trip with you guys. I'm going to be crew, so I'm going to be cheering everybody on. But could you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, Mike reached out to me, and he's just kind of the captain of a lot of these individuals who have done some some great things, some professional athletes, a lot of veterans, because that's what we're raising money for. And he's just assembled this team. And the concept is, life is about 1 mile at a time. And that's how you create a journey and a legacy. And he reached out to me and he just said, hey, would you be interested in riding with us and raising money and awareness for this cause? And I was on the team last year when they did it, and it was right after the Conquer 100. And so it just didn't make sense. I had to bail last minute. And so I'm super excited to be on the team this year and do the RAM, which is Race Across America. And man, I think your job is harder than ours. I've got a full-time crew myself, and they're master crewmen. And I call them the wingmen. I've got 2 guys, Casey and Aaron. They're with me full time. And you'll get to meet Aaron. He's going to be coming out to crew with you. And I would rely on Aaron. I'd watch Aaron and see what he does and how he crews. And there's just so much to be learned. But you guys have an unbelievable job. And I love to say, and this is something I believe to my core, that nothing great is ever accomplished on our own. And us cyclists, we're out there grinding and suffering and sweating, but we couldn't do it without you guys behind the scenes and everything and all the moving parts that you guys do. And that's the way it is with life too. We have to have a supporting cast around us to be successful, and everybody has to play their role.
Well, thank you. I think, of course, I think the opposite. Like, wow, you have the hardest job.
No, ours is easy.
That's what I hear. I'm kind of getting nervous. Like, what else am I going to be doing? No, Mike, did say
you're doing everything but riding.
Yeah, he said there's a lot. So it's going to be challenging to me too. I think because, I don't know anybody this year going. I'm walking in brand new. I'm really excited about it. I like a challenge. So here we go.
Well, and I'm the same way too. I don't know anybody. I've never even met Mike. We just had phone calls and Zoom calls and things like that. And just getting to know the team through stuff like this. But like you, I know Aaron really well, but just like you, it's going to be a new experience, and it's great to meet new people and expand your network of people. So it's good.
Absolutely. So tell us about your podcast, or you do some talk show?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm just on a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
I do a lot of events. I mainly do speaking. We do a lot of coaching too. We coach athletes to get them ready for their challenges. And then we do a lot of mindset training and coaching as well.
Maybe I'm channeling. Like, are you going to think about doing a podcast? Where did I get that from?
I'm not sure. I get, I've always kind of toyed with the idea of doing one. I get asked to do my own a lot. But I've just got so many other things on my plate. And if I do it, I want to really respect it. There's just a lot of homework that goes involved with bringing a guest on and having intelligent conversations. And I don't think I'm there yet. I don't have that time carved out.
Mm-hmm. I can talk to you later. I have a few ideas to make it really simple.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty funny. I assumed, I guess, that you had a podcast.
I did just order a complete sound studio booth to do all of my trainings, recordings. And so I will fully be set up. It comes at the end of this month. I'm super pumped about it because I do a lot of stuff like this. But I've got 5 kids. I've got a 90-pound dog. My office is right by my front door. And so it can get chaotic. You caught me in a window where nobody's home. So it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I've hid in the closet before. I
bet you have.
Yeah. Even my dog is sitting by the door. I can hear her little claws walking around on the wood floor. Yeah. So are there any kids, are any of your kids interested in fitness, or are they training for any marathons?
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, my kids range right now from my youngest son is 12, and I've got 4 teenage girls, the oldest being 19. And they are aware of health. They are aware of fitness and the importance of physical activity. And so they work out multiple times a week. We have a little home gym here, and they understand the importance of health and fitness. But they don't want to do what dad does. I think they've seen the bad parts of what we do, but they're interested in their own things, right? Like my oldest girl, she works for me full time. And my second daughter loves nails. She's in beauty school. And then my others, they just enjoy like rec basketball and things like that. But my son loves to flip and do kind of parkour stuff. They just do their own thing, and we just encourage them to chase their passions. I don't want to live my dreams or passions through my kids. I'll live my own dreams and passions.
Absolutely. So what's next for you? What are you planning? I'm sure you must have something that you're working towards right now.
Yeah, I mean, always working towards things. The 100 did a doozy on me. I mean, we crashed on day 59. I crashed on day 59 pretty violently. Found out that I broke my back in that crash. I did 41 Ironmans with a broken back, and then just found out recently. I knew I had some ankle issues that caused some problems going into it, and so I'm scheduled for surgery this month on one of my ankles. And what's next for me is just kind of like these fun challenges, raising money for charity. We're doing Race Across America. Then I'm doing a big triathlon in Germany in July. And then I'm doing what's called the Otillo Swim Run World Championships in Sweden later this year. And then just doing fun adventures. But what's really next for me is like, I believe I've reached my physical and mental limits to my potential. And I'm totally satisfied with those. And I want to help others do that. And that's why we do the mental coaching and the physical coaching. That's why we speak on stages. We just really want to help people, because that's the biggest message we get is like, hey, you've got a ton of experience doing this. Can you help me accomplish this goal? And so that's really what our team's mission is now, is not going out and accomplishing. Now we believe we can go out and accomplish anything we want, but now we want to help others accomplish that and have that same feeling that we've had of pushing your own personal boundaries and limits.
I love that. What if somebody wants to hire you to speak or have you at their event? How do they contact you?
Yeah, just through our website, ironcowboy.com. All the trainings and information and contact forms are on there. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love traveling, love doing podcasts, just getting information out there and helping people achieve, like I said, their version of hard, because everybody's heart is different. And we just want people showing up in their lives and giving them hope on their journey.
Absolutely. So what, your wife is doing this with you too, the coaching, or?
She does her own kind of stuff. She likes to work with women and youth, and so she does a lot of conferences that ways. And then I have my team where we coach athletes and do the mental coaching. I do most of the mental coaching myself, but the physical ones, we have an app right now that you can link through our Instagram at Iron Cowboy James. It's just $1 for the first month, so super affordable to check us out and try it. And it's not just for triathletes. If you want to just get up off the couch and start your fitness journey, we've got some programming in there for everybody. We want to be inclusive and make sure everybody has a chance to be the best version of who they are.
Mm-hmm. So could you tell our listeners one trial that you've had in your life and how did you overcome that trial? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, no, hundreds of trials. But the biggest thing is like any trial that you have, because it could be any of the world records that we've done, any of the big endurance challenges. And any trial that you're in, it seems impossible, right? It's like the most difficult, challenging thing you've done until you choose to push through it and you get to the top, the mountaintop of that challenge. And then all of a sudden, a new mountain shows itself that wasn't visible before. And all of a sudden, that is the new challenge. And so for me, every challenge that we've done, the most recent one would be the most relevant one, which would be the 100 days. That day 59 would be a great example. Crashed on the bike, broke my back, and had to make a decision. Am I going to continue? Is this worth it? We were raising money for Operation Underground Railroad, which is to eradicate human sex trafficking, human slavery, which is shocking that happens today. And I chose to continue, and we ended up raising $500,000 for that cause, which was super impactful for us. And so anybody facing any challenge or adversity, the secret is just breaking it down to one manageable step and continue to push through with just that one step. And eventually you get to the mountaintop and you look back and you're like, man, that was the hardest thing I've ever done. But now that I'm at the top, I'm looking back, I'm a different person. I've gained knowledge, I've gained experience. And now what's next, right?
Right. Oh, thank you for sharing that. I know I've had lots of guests on and each of them offers some really great insight. And I can't imagine having a broken back and thinking should I still push through this? That's a pretty big deal. And it sounds like it could be really dangerous.
Yeah, we always weigh the pros and cons, the ups and downs of any journey. And then we make a calculated decision. And I don't take any risks that aren't calculated that are going to be detrimental to I'm a father. I'm a father first, and I've got those 5 kids, and they're my responsibility and my wife's responsibility. And so we don't take those decisions lightly. And with anything, you just sit down, you remove the emotion from the decision and say, okay, what is the best decision for the team, and then proceed from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. Could you share your websites one more time, your social media and your website?
Yeah, for sure. The website is super simple. It's ironcowboy.com. And then our Instagram handle is at ironcowboyjames.
Excellent. And I will have those links on the screen for those watching, and those listening to the show. You will be able to find all of the links in the show notes. So, James, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we wrap it up?
You know, one of the biggest questions I always get is, how do I become more mentally tough? And everyone always trying to like listen and consume and read and all these things. And that's great. And you have to do that. And that creates momentum, a little bit of motivation for you. But ultimately, in order to become more mentally tough, you have to have an experience and you have to take action and do. And so if you're sitting there at your home right now, either on your couch or in your car, whatever, take a moment, plan it, go set a date and go do something. Have an experience. That's the only way to go through life and to gain knowledge, is to have an experience. You can read and listen and do everything you want, but you got to take action. You got to do it. Motion creates emotion. And so that's my challenge to everybody is there's no better time to start than right now.
I love that. And that's so true. And my listeners are feeding off of this. I can tell right now, because everybody who listens to my show, they're looking for motivation. And it's true. You have to set a goal and you have to take steps towards it. You just can't wish it in your lap, right?
Yep, that's absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. And James, thank you very much for being on the show. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to cover more of your story during the Team 1 Mile event, the Race Across America in June. So thank you again.
Awesome, Patty. Thank you so much. And also looking super forward to meeting you. It's going to be a blast, but
thank you. It is.
Get ready.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks a lot. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Wake Up with Patti Katter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
An American Inc. podcast.
Be sure to join the private Wake Up with Patti Katter Facebook group to interact directly with Patti.
I love being a part of such a great community.
Don't forget to follow Patti on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Patti Katter. And make sure to subscribe to the show.